Howdy and welcome to our group project. Our group members are Corey, Rachel, Hannah, Sadie, Kimberly, Jason, Weston, and Annie. The question our project seeks to answer is how genetically modified organisms affect producers and consumers. We were interested in the subject because we are aware that as the world population increases, demand for food also increases, and GMOs have been known to be more efficient even though non-GMO labeling has become a factor in consumer decisions. GMO stands for genetically modified organism. This language can sound scary, but these organisms are simply genetically engineered to satisfy the demands of the consumer and to provide bigger profit margins in productions. The organism's genetics have been studied and modified to produce better offspring crop yield, and thus are engineered to dominate the gene pool and occur more regularly within the population. Simply put, GMOs exist to satisfy consumer demand and expectation. According to the Non-GMO Project, an organism committed to educating consumers of the risks of consuming GMOs, GMOs are believed to be a threat to farmer sovereignty as pollen drifting from neighboring fields of GMO crops contaminate their surroundings. Additionally, the increasing need for herbicides and poisons is argued to be potentially carcinogenic to humans. Finally, GMOs cannot be recalled once released into the environment. However, from the producer perspective, food is in high demand, and when food is produced to the max efficiency, is safe to consume, beneficial to local farmers, and enables greater competitiveness, GMOs are pretty desirable. The variety that GMOs create have led to GMOs becoming common practice, as well as increasing consumers' interest in product increase. Over the past 15 years, GMOs have been used for animal consumption. By constantly testing the effects of GMOs on rodents and other target livestock, they hinder society's ability to recognize the positive attributes that GMOs offer, such as helping to feed our third world countries and offering new exceptional nutritional value to some of our foods. Another concern of GMOs is whether or not they are safe for the animal that is consuming them. Multiple studies have shown that genetically engineered feed will not affect the animal poorly, and some demand that we have longer scientific research on the subject to actually see if GMOs show a positive effect at all. With experimental design flaws, it has split the community in two, those who are pro-GMO and those who are non-GMO. How GMOs affect consumers. The typical consumer has many negative perceptions over GMOs. They may have the idea that GMOs are harmful and non-nutritious when present in human food. Many consumers think that GMOs are unnecessary to feed the world's population, and the use of herbicides and insecticides have been made to modify organisms drastically. GMOs are dominantly seen as negative due to a disconnect among the producer and consumer. When a consumer is not educated about what they are consuming, even the smallest miscommunication can be blown out of proportion. The media tends to blow these studies out of proportion by selectively combing through results to generate the most eye-catching headline. This has led to many questions arising, such as whether the pros outweigh the cons of GMOs, and whether it is the consumer's responsibility or not to be educated on what they are buying. Are GMO diets positive or negative for animal products? GMO diets and how they affect animal products have been an ongoing question in the industry. If the diet is negative towards the animal's health, then the product the consumers will receive will not be well. However, if the diet helps the animal's health, then the product the consumers receive will be a great product. The impact GMOs have on humans is essentially the greatest concern of consumers. Most systematic reviews of animal feeding studies have concluded that the feed using GMOs is safe and nutritionally equal to non-GMO feed. There's also no evidence in support that that GMO feed leads to effects, positive or negative, in humans. Although some studies occasionally show problems correlated with GMO feed, 70 to 90% of feed that crop-producing animals consume, or food-producing animals consume, is genetically engineered crop biomass, so mass health problems would have been reported by now. However, not every study has shown a null effect of GMO on animals. This one study found that pigs raised on a genetically modified corn and soy diet had a higher rate of intestinal problems. Another finding was that the uteri of the sows had a GMO diet that was 25% larger on average than the control sows. This is an impactful finding because the intestines of pigs are very similar to that of humans in genetically modified corn and soy are major components of the average person's diet. On the contrary, this other study has demonstrated positive effects for a diet including GMOs. In this study, sheep were fed a diet consisting of genetically modified maize over a 3-year period. The finding of the study concluded that there were no adverse effects on the health or performance in sheep that were fed genetically modified maize. The study also found that the immune response to a salmonella vaccination was better in the sheep on a genetically modified diet. In conclusion, the benefits of GMOs outweigh negative outcomes. We have a lot to thank GMOs and the scientific community for in regards to the food that we are able to consume today. In the future, we have plans to move towards sustainability and productivity both consumers and producers will benefit from. These are our sources.